This is Wincanton. Runners are down at the start for the 135 and 11 hurdles to be jumped here. Cara de Flo is the non-runner and a field of 9. We'll hopefully have news from Cork on that fall 3 out with Clinton Hill. Hopefully Paul Tannant A-OK. Horse likewise. Cap course 3-1 on here. A very strong favourite. Let's get across and join Lydia.
Just having a chat with Paul Nicholls, and he feels that this horse is too short. Now, obviously, he would, wouldn't he? But he was just making the point that the horse is a maiden over hurdles. His better form is over fences for a reason. He seems to be better at this discipline at the moment. He sees him as a promising chase for the future. He just wants to get more experience into him. Hence, he's switching to what should be, on paper, a very straightforward task over hurdles. But Bryony Frost was also pointing out there's no pace in the race, and it's a very different scenario to what Cap Course been facing previously over fences, where he's able to jump well, get in a rhythm twice under Bryony, and enjoyed the strong pace and come through at the end. And this is going to be very different. This could be very tactical. And they're also eyeing, obviously, Dancing at Dunraven with some trepidation. That horse won a Irish point when trained by Sam Curling, ridden by Derek O'Connor, obviously. And Richard Johnson now rides for Philip Hobbs, this horse making his rules debut, and he could be quite decent. The rest of them, in truth, are really hard to fancy against a horse of Cap Course's known ability, even though that peak ability is over fences, and a horse with the promising profile and from the yard, such as Philip Hobbs, like Dancing at Dunraven. So let's find out how this pans out. 1-3 Cap Course, 5-2 Philip Hobbs runner, 14-1 bar. Let's join in.
Runners just back to make their way, I think, out onto the course, just taking 1 or 2 more turns before the starter is ready for them. 12 flights of hurdles they're going to have to jump now, with 4 obviously in the back straight here these days and 2 in the home straight. So in 2 miles 5 and a bit furlongs, they jump every one of the flights twice. Starter's just checked his watch. Oh, maybe we are waiting for the end of Newcastle. Possibly, I suppose. They are, by the looks of things, on the run-in there. In fact, they're just about to hit the winning post at Newcastle, so maybe that is what we were waiting for here. Our latest betting is Cap Course 2-5 chance now. Dancing at Dunraven, the second favourites, into 2-1 now from 3s. Cap Course, the market leader, a 2-5 chance. Flags up, starters ready. So about to make their way up to face the tape. Entrance to the back straight is where they start here. They're moving forward. They're off. They get away and they run down to the first of 4 flights over the far side. Apple Mac and Battle of the Somme, both in combinations of black and pink, are the leaders, with Monk's View in a pink jacket a little wide of them, and favourite Cap Course nose banded with them as well. That is the leading quartet as they get to flight number 1, which they all cleared successfully. They're certainly not going very fast as they quickly make their way down towards number 2, where Apple Mac was the first one to rise. Gets over it to Battle of the Somme, favourite Cap Course, Dancing at Dunraven, a very pale jacket, white sleeves under restraint as they move down towards number 3. Monk's View on the extreme right was next, and then came Earth Spirit in the brown and yellow, from Summit Like Herbie in the red and white. They move on down then to number 4 at the end of the back straight. Best turned out winner Stormfire in the orange is last but one. Got over that in 8th position. He is fractionally ahead of Invisible Clouds as they come then to the end of the back straight for the first time. And Apple Mac, black and pink striped sleeves for Micheal Nolan, is just ahead of Kieran Edgar on Battle of the Somme, plain pink sleeves. It's about 3 parts of a length behind in second. Then the 2 market leaders race together. Dancing at Dunraven, Richard Johnson, pale jacket, horse is a little keen. a nose-banded Cap Course, who has much more experience and is the odds-on favourite for this Brownie Frost alongside. The pink colours of Monk's View, Nico de Boinville, it's only a half length behind those at most, holding 5th position as they now enter the final 2 miles and come into the home straight for the first time. Nick Schofield's next on Earth Spirit in the brown and yellow. Jamie Bargery on Summit Like Herbie in white and red. Then extreme left now is Invisible Clouds. Gavin Sheehan is in company with Stormfire and Tom Bellamy in the orange. They're just the last couple of runners as they step over number 5, the first of the 2 in the straight, and still well bunched. There's only about 7-8 lengths between them here. They continue their run down towards the halfway stage then as this Bet Victor jump starter welcome off a novice's hurdle with Apple Mac a very fractional leader. Battle of the Somme, a white blaze on his face, is to the right as we look down the track there in first and second places. The extreme right is Monk's View. 1 from the right is Cap Course. On the left there, white sleeves of Dancing at Dunraven as they race up to the winning post. Then they'll have 1 circuit. Right in behind those is Earth Spirit in the brown and yellow, rather pulling his way through up to be with the leaders. There's a length and a half gap then to Invisible Clouds, Summit Like Herbie and Stormfire, who race virtually in line at the rear of the field. So off to the far side they go, and the 9 of them only separated by 7-8 lengths or so at most. Continues to be a pretty moderate gallop being set by Apple Mac and Battle of the Somme as they're about to make the turn past the starting point and run off down the far side again. 6 more to jump from here. Cap Course just about in third. Monk's View is further out than him, and then comes Earth Spirit, who's fractionally ahead now of Dancing at Dunraven, and then is about a length behind those 2 Stormfire as they come to the first of the flights in the back straights. Invisible Clouds has dropped to be the back marker, struggling a little bit, and just ahead of him as they jump now. This next flight of hurdles is Summit Like Herbie. All over it okay, a little unbalanced on touching down Earth Spirit, but it continues to be Apple Mac who leads. Leads to Battle of the Somme. Cap Course, the green yellow jacket, white sleeves, 1 from the right showing up there. Monk's View is widest. Dancing of Dunraven jumping well on the inside of those. That quintet onto Stormfire, and then comes Earth Spirit, and behind those is Summit Like Herbie and Invisible Cloud. So they're down towards the end of the back straight now. Apple Mac Dancing at Dunraven, an error there, propped on landing back in 4th or 5th position. He's probably showing 4th actually with Monk's View. So down towards the end of the back straight, it's still Apple Mac and Battle of the Somme together. Breathing down the next in the green is Cap Course, the favourite, and then comes Summit Like Herbie, and the red and whites come up through with Dancing at Dunraven and Monk's View either side of him. Stormfire is next, and then comes Earth Spirit, and the back marker as they run down towards the bottom end of the course is Invisible Cloud. So they've really crawled along here. This is going to develop for something like a sprint, but Dancing at Dunraven has very quickly dropped back into 7th position, is behind the leaders as they come into the straight. Apple Mac leading to the white face of Battle of the Somme. On the right, the noseband is Cap Course. Summit Like Herbie in the white and red in behind those, and then Monk's View and the others headed by Stormfire. At the second last, here's Cap Course to come through and take it up now. Goes on to Apple Mac in second, Battle of the Somme in third, Summit Like Herbie is in 4th position, then comes Monk's View. They head down towards the last, and it is Cap Course on the right, has the advantage now to Apple Mac in second position, who's a couple of lengths back in second place, and then Summit Like Herbie as Cap Course, Briny Frost at the last, popped over it with a 3 to 4 length advantage, and is just going to have to coast home here for an easy victory. So Briny Frost maintains the unbeaten record on Cap Course. Second is going to be very tight indeed. Summit Like Herbie on the outside of Apple Mac, and Monk's View home in 4th.
So Cap Course does indeed get off the mark over hurdles. In the hands of Bryony Frost, who's twice won his victory over fences. Paul Nicholls, the winning trainer. 2 to 5, the horse was returned in the end. It wasn't completely straightforward, as connections were suggesting. The scenario didn't entirely suit this horse. There was a steady old pace.
Well, this was a mighty impressive performance from Cap Course, Paul Nicholls and Bryony Frost. And looking in behind, someone like Herbie's come from a mile back to be in the frame. And Apple Mac has shaped like a lot better than his price suggested, Sam.
Yeah, I suppose the final result sort of revolved around the Hobbs horse, which didn't particularly run his race and was pretty disappointing, really, dancing at Dunraven. But Cap Course could do no more than win, and he's won pretty comfortably. I think he's obviously much better suited by 2.5 miles, plenty of cut in the ground, and probably fences. So this was more of an accent on being a bit of a speed test. So he's done well to emerge with quite a cosy win. Nice confidence booster for him. He's a big backward horse as well, who's going to do better in time. And you imagine that he's just biding time over hurdles and then probably go back over fences next year.
Yeah, grand big stamp of a horse as well, and first victory over hurdles, a third win for Paul Nicholls, and 3 from 3 under that lady, and that is Bryony Frost, who has got this 6-year-old home for an easy success, and the odds-on favourite winning race 3 at Wincanton.